Welcome to Secure Money Mindset, the ultimate podcast for financial planning tips and strategies. Our episodes are designed to be concise and to the point, lasting no more than 30 minutes. Each episode features seasoned advisors from Secure Planning Group or an outside financial specialist discussing crucial issues and providing actions to consider when addressing your top financial concerns. We value honesty and transparency, meaning we present both the good and the bad news in a clear and concise manner. Our goal is to provide you with reliable insights and practical guidance. Be sure to hit the follow button to stay up to date with our latest episodes. For more information, please visit our website at securepg.net. Let's dive into this week's episode of Secure Money Mindset.
Hi, I'm Isabel, and this is Nate, a financial advisor here at Secure Planning Group, and welcome to Secure Money Mindset. Today's podcast, Make It a Summer Love and Financial Planning. Is talking about money on the first date a major red flag or a bold move that shows maturity? Whether you're swiping right or walking down the aisle, financial conversations are a crucial and often overlooked part of building a healthy relationship. In this episode, we explore how and when to bring money up in dating, how couples can align on financial goals, and why understanding your partner's money mindset is important, and probably more important than knowing their favorite vacation spot. We'll guide you through questions to ask, red flags to look for, and tools that can help you build a shared financial future together. So, Nate, how and when should people bring up finances in relationships?
Oh boy, that's a softball of a first question. People should start talking about that, I would say, when they start to get more serious with that person. This isn't a dating podcast. I hope that people saw
Let's get that clear.
It's a Secure Money Mindset podcast, and there are way better podcasts for dating or whatever. But yeah, I would think when people start to get more serious with their significant other, that'd be a great time to start talking about it, because it's really a crucial part of having a healthy relationship is your relationship, both of your relationships with money, and also having a good self-awareness of how you are with money. Yeah, I think once you start to get serious with somebody, whatever that means to you, whenever you start to get serious with somebody, I think that's when you can start to have more of those conversations.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. So let's want to talk about financial compatibility and like what that really means.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it does come down to self-awareness, and knowing how you are with money. Whether you might be someone who wants to save every dollar, or if you're on the opposite end of the spectrum and you're just someone who spends more than they save. It's going to be really important for you to understand your own relationship to money, so then you can talk about it with somebody else, and maybe understand what you're looking for in a partner too, or just being able to have that conversation about how they interact with money, because it's likely not going to be the same way that you interact with money. The way that they were raised to handle money is going to be different from the way that you were raised to handle money. So having a conversation, having a deeper understanding of the other person is really a good place to start, and it starts with yourself.
Yeah. So when couples are ready to have that big talk, what are some questions they should ask and topics they should cover?
And I would say it doesn't even need to be a big talk. There are ways that you can talk about the way that you view money, and it might even be things that you just see the way that they interact with other people, the things that they choose to spend their money on. But then, yeah, when you're having those bigger conversations about, hey, what are your goals in life? If you're at a place with somebody where you're planning for a future, saying like, what are your goals in life? To talk about things like that.
Okay. And how would you advise this couple to plan for their future together?
I would say when you're starting to have these conversations, you want to talk about things such as the way you view budgeting, the way you view savings, and yeah, the way that you view your goals as well. If you have a dream to buy a vacation home, but there's someone who doesn't want to do that, well, then you're going to need to have a conversation about that to get you more on the same page. So whatever that looks like for you, I'm just going to say it again. Having an understanding of the way that you view money is really going to help you when you go to have a conversation with somebody else about the way that they view money.
Okay. Do you want to kind of dive into some topics that the couples should address? Maybe retirement savings, life insurance, saving for a home or kids?
Yeah. So like I just said, this is more so for younger married couples than it is for people who are like just dating, because
Mm-hmm.
when you're talking about budgeting, that is where you're going to need to start to get on the same page as some of those things. And for each person, it's different. Some people want to use an app. Some people like to use like a spreadsheet or something. Whatever it looks like for you, being on the same page about where you're spending your money, as well as the same way having a conversation about how you want to do it. Some people decide to put everything together in joint name. Some people decide to have some things in joint name, something separate. Some people decide to have things as separately as possible. So having a conversation about how that works for you, and then trying it out and saying, hey, the way we did our budget really sucked, and we really blew it on that. Like, that doesn't mean you suck at budgeting. Let me just say that doesn't mean you suck at budgeting. Maybe you just need to try a different approach. Maybe you tried a spreadsheet and it wasn't for you. Maybe you tried an app and it wasn't for you. But just continuing to get better at budgeting, I think, is a huge one for younger married couples, as well as your attitude towards, when we say lifestyle inflation for some people. If you haven't heard the term before, it's typically when people start to make more money, the money that they spend on their life increases, whether they buy nicer cars, a bigger house. And there's nothing wrong with buying these things, of course. But at the same time, if you're not doing that in conjunction with saving for a house or saving for retirement, that's when things start to become a little problematic. So again, talking about your priorities and spending money and how you want to have your assets either together or separately, those are really important conversations to have to see what's going to work best for your situation.
Okay. And Nate, as a financial professional, do you want to talk about how a financial planner can help facilitate this conversation, or like how that can help?
Yeah, a financial planner is going to be really beneficial in these conversations. Much less so if we're talking about like the dating thing. I think we already glossed over that, and now we're more towards, this part's a little bit more towards not even newlyweds, just people who maybe haven't talked to a financial planner before and you're married. But a financial planner can help you have conversations where you can lay out your goals. I know I said goals a lot, but understanding what the two of you want in your life for your family is super crucial. And a financial planner can help you come up with a plan to save for certain goals. They can help you see if you're on track for your retirement, as well as seeing, hey, when do the two of you want to retire? Hey, when do you want to buy a house? When do you want to buy a second house? Do you want to send your kids to private school, to public school? These are all questions you're going to have in your relationship. And talking to a financial advisor and laying those out on the table and seeing, hey, what do we want to prioritize? What are we able to afford? Hey, are we putting the right amounts away for retirement or buying a house? Like, those are things that a financial advisor can help you with. And when we're writing financial plans, the goals are one of the first things we put in there, because the financial plan is dictating so many of what you're hoping to have in your financial life.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you for that. All right. So just kind of looking at everything that we've learned today, if there was one major takeaway that the listeners would get from this podcast, what would you want to tell them now?
I'll give you two.
Oh,
yeah. The first one is because we got like, there's kind of like two veins that this went into.
Yeah.
There's one where it's like, hey, I'm dating somebody, I want to talk about money. It's okay to talk about money with them. And yeah, it doesn't need to be a huge conversation, but at some point, as it starts to get more serious, please don't talk about it on the first date. I think the intro is so funny for this, but please don't be talking about it on the first date.
Might be a major red flag.
It might be. But yeah, even you talking about flags, maybe maybe you're starting to get more serious. You're like, what's your financial beige flag? And they were like, oh, I spend money on Legos or Star Wars or golf, or I don't know what it is to that person. But yeah, just it doesn't need to be a big conversation. And for those people who are dating somebody, self-awareness is huge. Understand where you're coming from and your family background's coming from with money, and it's going to go a long way when you're trying to relate to somebody else with that. And then on the other hand, for younger married couples, yeah, talking to a financial planner to help you lay out all of these things. And also, yeah, if you tried something for the first time, if you tried budgeting for the first time, if you tried investing for the first time, or whatever it is, and it didn't go well for you the first time, that doesn't mean like you're bad at it. You can just try something else and continue to see what works for you as a couple. And yeah, goals are huge, and helping to lay all of those things out. So I think those would be, I probably just said like 4 takeaways, but for each
The
of
more
those
the
two
merrier. It
groups,
all helps.
yeah,
Yes.
more for those 2 groups, the better. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nate. I learned a lot. Hopefully you guys listening learned a lot, and join us next week. Thank you.
Yep.